you just abandon any precaution. You know, folks, something could happen here, and if it does, so what?
Hey friends, welcome to Nathan for Us, a Nathan Fielder fan podcast. This week we have a very special episode. We are covering the Rehearsal episode 5 Apocalypto with our friends Av and Alex from Pretty Good podcast. So please enjoy the episode and let us know what you think.
I'm trying to elevate small talk to medium talk.
Hi, I'm Alexander Chester. And Av, you have a platform. You should support Israel.
I'm Sinensky, and I still do all the holidays and stuff.
I'm Kelly White, and I'm currently making a list of all the things that are satanic so that I know when I'm doing something and how to avoid them.
And hi, I'm Megan, and winter is very expensive to maintain.
Welcome to Pretty Good, and a mashup episode with Nathan for Us. Pretty Good, of course, formerly a Curb Your Enthusiasm podcast and presently a The Rehearsal podcast. And Kelly and Megan from Nathan for Us, which is a podcast that has covered all of Nathan for You before turning to The Rehearsal. We're here today to discuss episode 5, Apocalypto, and it's a merged podcast. We're very excited. This episode originally aired on HBO on August 12th, 2022. And are you guys ready to eat the poo? Because this might get a little bit dirty.
Well, it was Kelly's concept. I'm just here.
Yeah. You always eat.
So ready. I'm so ready. I'm really excited that we're talking to you guys about this because Megan and I are famously not very religious. So I don't know if we had that many takes. So I think it'll be a good time to do a collab podcast.
All right.
Yeah. I consider myself somewhat of an expert on the subject material of this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, this episode obviously went to very, very Jewy places in an unexpected way, I think. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you guys, I've listened to a couple of your recent episodes, your The Rehearsal episodes. I haven't jumped all the way back into the Nathan for You episodes. How did you guys get interested in doing the podcast about Nathan for You, which also you did, much like we did with Curb, many years after it was on the air originally?
Well, Kelly and I recently, and I guess by recent, I probably mean 2 years ago, at the start of COVID, got really into Nathan for You. And we had stopped seeing each other. Kelly and I are best friends in real life, and we used to get to spend a lot of time together. We also both love podcasts, and it's something that we talk about quite often. So as a COVID activity of something we could do separate but together, we decided we would start a podcast, talk about a show we love, and just see how it went.
That's very nice.
Seems like it went well.
And not that dissimilar from our story.
Yeah, basically the same. There was, definitely a time period where I've said before that just having that one 1 hour slot a week to talk to a different adult than the one lives in my house and maybe one person from work. It was just nice to see a person.
Yeah, definitely. And famously during Kelly's bachelorette party at 11 o'clock at night, she dragged me away to go back to our Airbnb so we could watch Nathan for You. So we bailed on her bachelorette party to watch Nathan for You, and we passed out on the couch while everyone else kept partying. So we thought, you know what? We really love this show.
Yeah, we're basically experts at this point, I would say. And I think we made a good choice doing it later, post the show ending, because there's so much information about so many people and so many of the businesses that we kind of could give a little bit more color commentary than I think if we had done it when they were coming out.
For sure. Yeah, they become TV characters at that point rather than people. So it makes it more convenient to do podcasts. Did you get roped into doing this podcast by Nathan Fielder trying to convince you that you can make a lot of money doing a podcast about Nathan for You?
If you can make a lot of money from it, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of his ideas are not great.
To be fair, a lot of his ideas are not lucrative, so.
Yeah. This is in the hobby category.
Yeah.
We've all kept our day jobs.
Yes. Us as well.
All right, so how are we going to do this? Should we jump into the episode?
Yeah, we can just dive in
Let's do
with
it.
a very wholesome home video. We open this rehearsal to Nathan Fielder playing dad with his child, and I guess they were playing doctor. Do we think that Dr. Farts is a qualified professional?
Well, they don't just call him Dr. Fart if he didn't go through medical school. Like you,
Yeah.
that would be fraudulent.
Yeah, don't be
definitely
ridiculous, Megan.
Yeah. So his remedy to most ailments is farts and ultimately eating his poo. There's a theme we can shoot back to Nathan For You, where we saw a grandfather who was very keen on drinking his grandson's pee. Do we think that this is a medical advancement that we've moved to poo, or how do we feel about this remedy?
I mean, Nathan must really like this topic because the old man was, pooping with a stranger's help, wiping his butt a couple episodes ago. And so, he insists that it was Adam's concept, which Angela doesn't believe. And I'm kind of on team Angela here.
He's obsessed with poop.
Yeah. Even if Dr. Farts came up with the initial idea, Nathan certainly decided to show the vignette to Angela on TV, obviously to elicit the reaction that he got. So I think the concept was his.
Look.
Yeah, how do we think HBO reacted to this scene specifically? Because I would love to know.
This scene probably cost them the least amount of money, so they were probably okay with it.
I mean, I think Angela going nuts about this like harmless juvenile humor is a little bit ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's not obviously one of the top 100 crazy things she's done, but like farts and poop are not really like adult subject matter. They're like childish as it is. Like those are like kids' favorite topics of jokes.
Yeah, this is perfectly normal child behavior.
Yeah.
These are satanic rituals,
Well,
and
I forgot
True.
about
Good
that. Okay.
counterpoint.
that is not appropriate for children.
That's true.
Angela, who was an expert at stand-up comedy and all things improv, would know.
Yeah, she loves Key and Peele, as discussed. So, I mean, she knows what comedy is.
Yeah, Adam's bedside manner here is also terrible. When he's like, "Do you think it might be cancer?" He's like, "Maybe, yeah."
Yeah. You gotta say,
that's
get
what you
out of
need,
here.
though.
Right? You gotta have a get out of here for kids.
That's right. Get out of here.
Yeah, what are you, crazy?
Yeah, so we see this poop segment. I don't know what else to call it. Dr. Fart treating Nathan. We also hear Nathan talking about the fact that he is not going to be doing any other rehearsals. He's gotten too deep with Angela. You guys had already seen the episode prior to this week, so you kind of knew that this was coming. But upon your first viewing, how did you feel about no more rehearsals in the finale and this episode?
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Well, so I've been referencing for several episodes how, I think the editing of the show is as big a role as in any show. And I think that the editing really decides the narrative. And the example I kept coming to in my head, but I couldn't say that until now, was the fact that like clearly the producers, if not Nathan himself, and there's no way Nathan didn't practically, like he knew over the course of time of the last couple episodes when he was in California and stuff, that she was not participating in the show, that when he was gone, she was completely giving up the pretense of the show and not going through the motions at all. Like he knew that he didn't all of a sudden discover it now, but he chose to place it here now because it sort of drives the narrative forward of her, removal, her basically quitting the show. Or
well, are we sure that timeline is correct? Like, is it not possible she was game for the first 6 weeks and then eventually just got sick of it and started?
Well, but then you're saying he's lying because or that he's not telling us the full truth. But on the show, he says that she never made anything for the fake mailman. It's not like she started and then stopped.
Okay, fine. Okay.
I think the implication is that any second that he was not in the house, she was not even trying. She was talking to the actors as actors.
Right.
Yeah. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think that's what the show wants us to believe, right, guys?
Yeah, we actually got a pretty interesting email kind of along those lines from Kyle C. And shout out to Kyle C, who he mailed me the Nathan For You DVDs at the beginning of the pandemic. So
wow.
He's a real one.
Yeah.
But he kind of suggested, do we think it would have been better if they had timestamps on the episode so that we could see like, oh, this is actually like day whatever versus kind of us guessing?
That's a great idea from Kyle, except that he could fake that. If he wants to fake it anyways and tell us something misleading, he could fake that also, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Although that's more dishonest to like claim that you're timestamping and then faking it rather than just not claiming to be doing so.
But I mean, like when you watch a movie and it says it's 5:57 in the background. It might not be 5:57. That might be a fake clock. Like just set, like
It's
the
true.
whole thing is a certain artifice. So
Yes. The cucumber might have a barcode on it.
yes.
That poor Pepper. Yeah, we haven't seen the
Pepper,
garden in
sorry.
a while. I guess it's
Well, it's
winter,
winter,
so
yeah.
Winter,
that's gotta be
right?
why.
Winter's expensive.
It's more expensive, but probably a lot more convenient for Nathan because he doesn't have to be out in the field like putting in irrigation and.
Oh my gosh.
This was
So-
all just a ruse so he wouldn't have to continue
Exactly.
gardening. And
Right.
he just decided it was going to be religious.
Yeah, Judaism is
I
a cover
support.
for gardening.
I support that. I
Yes.
hate gardening.
Same. They sell all the stuff in the store. Like, it makes no sense. Whatever. Don't
Yeah.
get me started.
Okay, but except for green onions, regrow really fast and you just have to put them in a cup of water.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
only
That's like
that a real
that's
tip?
my one gardening
Oh, okay.
tip.
I feel like my wife and I have black thumbs. Like we can't grow anything. So we've tried tomatoes. They didn't really go. I did even when I was a kid. You put like the the toothpicks in the avocado in the cup. That never works. You just get a moldy avocado.
We've
Yeah,
tried.
it seems-
We've tried nothing because they sell them in the supermarket.
Touche. So we get a montage of great home videos from Nathan, and then we learn that Angela wants to teach Adam about Jesus and Christianity through a faith-based homeschooling curriculum.
Full stop.
Yeah.
I feel like no one is surprised here. Like,
Yeah.
if,
I mean, come on, it's Angela at this point.
yeah. What else was she gonna do? She was not gonna send them to any other like secular school.
I mean, it's satanic for sure.
I
Public
did
school
find,
is definitely on the list.
Yeah, I did find the website that she was looking at, 26 faith-based homeschool curriculum choices.
That's some
It's
good
a lot of
research.
choices.
Yeah, so she has 26 to choose from. They each cost about $20. One of them's 13, so it's not an expensive homeschooling system.
HBO's
but
paying
it
for
seem-
it also.
Yeah, it seems like they wouldn't have to do much to get this curriculum. So her planning out the 5 days a week, I'm not sure if she actually needs to do that.
I'm pretty curious about this curriculum now. So is it like that's like $26 per year? Like how many courses do they take? I have a lot of questions.
That's very
So-
cheap for like online school stuff.
Well, I just found that one
alarmingly
that
cheap.
is $200 a month. So there's 26 different options on this website that you can look through and select one. So every time they did flash to her on a computer looking it up, she was actually reading about faith-based education systems. She wasn't on a completely different website.
All right, so it's good that we have that realism at least.
Yeah, it really solidified that this is a real life scenario.
When Nathan's around, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we get a little visit from Nathan's parents. They had come by when Adam was 3, so a couple days earlier, and had kind of told him that they had some concerns about Angela and the way that Angela was just being a little bit overbearing with the way they were raising Adam. So they brought these to Nathan.
More
and
Jewish
this-
parents they could not be.
So this is where we really get the conflict of the episode, I would say.
Yeah, but like, one has to wonder. First of all, you know better than us. Are these are his real parents, or these are actors?
Yes.
They're
These are
his
his real
These are his real
parents.
parents.
I thought
Yes.
so. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
remember, but I thought so. So what do they think is happening here? Like, why do they care? Like, this is a show.
But they say why. Even if it's a show, he's still falling into his usual habits. And for them,
Okay.
they just see their son doing the thing that he repeatedly does. This time he's pretending to do it, but they still see the same behavior, the same
I guess.
choices.
I guess, but like, they don't have to like blow up his show over it.
Well, are you implying, but does this naturally come from them or does Nathan orchestrate this? Or does
I have no
Nathan
idea.
bring
That's
them-
what I'm asking.
does
That's why I'm
Nathan
asking.
bring them
What
on
do they
set because he knows this is going to happen. Because why else
could
are
be,
they there?
right? Yeah, that's why I'm asking. What
Yeah.
do they think is going on here?
Yeah.
I feel like unless your parents are extremely Christian, it would be very shocking to introduce them to Angela. Like, especially since Nathan is Jewish, I feel like there's no way that he didn't realize this was going to be drama.
Yeah. I mean, he still does all the holidays and stuff.
But he doesn't go to synagogue because he says it's too boring.
It's boring.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. So I love the parents. I just thought they remind me of so many people I know.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. They're
Which,
just,
which
yeah.
unfortunately will also be true for another Jew we meet later.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I will say it does feel like the divorce Nathan went through clearly is like affecting this whole situation that we see. And we see a lot of like different things happening. One specific moment that I really want to talk about, Nathan goes to take the cookies out of the oven, and Angela tells him, make sure you put on oven mitts, which is a wild thing to tell a 38-year-old man. And two, she brings them upstairs to like show them to her so she can check if they're done. I don't know. Would you guys ever be like, yes, I will do that for you? Because I feel like my husband would be like, no, you can just walk downstairs.
Well, that's why they're showing it, to demonstrate how like he's completely giving in to her, and he's turning into the subservient role, of other relationships. But yeah, but to me, it seems a little fake. Like, I don't think Angela required that, right? I think he was doing that, for effect a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she could be like Loretta Black. She was demanding like that.
Yeah, Loretta was. Yeah, that's a good callback to the previous topic of half of this podcast.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess, they're really diving into this whole like Nathan's thing of like, he just goes with the flow and he doesn't push back and builds up tension. And so do we know, or do we think that this was like religious issues played a big role in his divorce, or is that, just unrelated?
I don't believe so.
No,
we don't
okay.
know a lot about his divorce. I read online somewhere that she was a non-practicing Christian. She's a librarian from Canada.
They don't have kids, right?
Sounds harmless.
No, they don't have kids. I don't know if it was a big issue. She's very private. They don't have a lot of information on their divorce.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is a big premise of this episode is how Nathan's going to take control and do things his way, and it's his show, so he gets to decide what religion is a part of this and what is the focus of this episode. But it's really just his parents' opinion. So everything that is impacted is just someone else's opinion that he's going along with.
Right.
And we don't actually get to see what he would truly want and how he would truly raise his kids. I guess everyone has some sort of impact from their parents, but it's interesting how they just keep replaying this pattern over and over again throughout the series.
Yeah, and
and his parents seem lovely. So like, I feel like it's not like a trauma thing.
But Megan, your perspective is interesting, because as you were saying that, I was thinking of a family member that I know who, the parents like to imply that he's being completely controlled by his significant other, and the significant other likes to imply that he's being completely controlled by his parents. And as like an outside observer to this, it does strike me as maybe he just needs to be a little bit more assertive in his life in general. And certainly, I think that's true about Nathan in both directions. Yeah, because his parents are coming on his show. And again, it might be because he brought them on, but like, his parents coming on his show and telling him what to do with a fake girlfriend, not even a fake co-parent. And he immediately sort of acquiesces.
Right. And the fake wife is also like his employee, who has to do whatever he says at the end of the day. So it's like all this like weird thing where like he's in control, and yet he's not in control at all.
But isn't that why the order in which they sort of reveal Angela's, fakeness of the show, isn't that interesting? Because we see it after he sort of hijacks like her show and turns it into his show. Right. Which from her perspective, she's completely in the right here. Like, what do we care if Nathan's falling into his own habits, or why does she care? This is a show about her, not about him. He's just there to assist her. But then we find out, oh, well, actually, Angela hasn't been, doing the rehearsal the whole time. So I just think it's interesting the way that they reveal that. And they sort of do it, I think, almost to make Nathan look a little more like the bad guy relative to Angela.
I almost think it's the opposite, where you feel a little bit. I was almost on Angela's side a little bit. And I know that she's a little crazy, but this is supposed to be her rehearsal. And she is to the point where her religious beliefs are such a overwhelming priority in her life that she would never be with a partner who didn't have the same level of religious beliefs and had the same wants for their child. So for her personal rehearsal, it wouldn't make sense that she would compromise that. So
no, I agree with you 100% on that. You're completely right. But but she's not even really doing the rehearsal, but we don't know.
No, and that's what gets you on Nathan's side, because she's not invested and she doesn't care. It's also interesting how Patrick, a few episodes ago, he also had some anti-Semitic comments, and he was also, saying things that Nathan allowed him to say, and that he decided that he would allow him to continue with those thoughts and to say them in his rehearsal, because it's how he would act in that situation. But he's not allowing that with Angela because of his parents' influence.
Yeah. Like you brought it up. Let me ask you guys. I did not, we can get into what she says later in the episode, but I did not hear Angela say anything that was anti-Semitic. She might be anti-Semitic. She's a big Mel Gibson fan, but I didn't hear her say anything on the show that was anti-Semitic per se, unlike Patrick.
Yeah, it's tough because I know I went and read her Variety article after where they talked to her a little bit.
Ooh.
And I think if it were me in her shoes, I would immediately lead with hey, just so we're clear, I'm not anti-Semitic. And she didn't say that, which makes me side-eye her a little bit.
Right.
But you can see there is one part where she's talking to Miriam at the end where she starts to say, I'm not anti, and then it gets cut off. So I think she was trying to say it, and maybe she did say it and it got cut off. It's hard to say. Again, the editing, wants us to see certain things.
Right.
But she's definitely strong in her beliefs.
Yeah, if anything, we'll get there, but if anything, I think they edited to make Miriam look like the crazy one in that arrangement, not Angela. So I don't, I think Angela does okay in the scheme of things in this episode.
Well, but Av, you said before, maybe Angela only checked out halfway through and she was more committed in the beginning. And, I don't think that's what the show's saying, but if that is the case,
I was just wondering. I wasn't sure.
But if that is the case, that puts a total different spin on this whole thing, because then it might be that Angela was invested early on, and then she sees Nathan taking it over and ignoring what her actual desires for her.
They literally,
fuck this, I'm done.
They literally rewind the show because Nathan missed part of it. If that's not making it about you instead of about her, what else is? We're literally, we're going to redo those because I wasn't around for it.
Yeah, so I think if it is that way, then it's a totally different circumstance in terms of who the bad guy is. But I don't think it is.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
We'll never know. Release the tape.
Release the full cut. Yeah. I want to see the
we'll
live.
Watch it.
I need
someone will.
Stamps.
Yeah. We'll get one of those BB updaters. They'll look at it for us.
That's right. There's a whole team of them.
And then also, obviously, from a rehearsal perspective, if it's now Nathan's rehearsal instead of Angela's, which from a viewer's perspective, I think is more interesting. So I'm fine with that. But you wouldn't encourage your child, obviously, to lie to their other parent about where they've been and go through these ruses. This child is not Jimmy McGill, to bring up a better call. It's not this is a 6-year-old boy in the world of the rehearsal who's now being told by one parent to lie to the other parent. That's extraordinarily destructive behavior.
Yeah, well, he's an actor, so it's fine. So he'd be.
No, I understand, but I'm trying to get into the word. Is Nathan taking the rehearsal seriously?
Look,
no way.
Adam's not a snitch, okay?
Yeah,
true. We know, as he later will tell us.
Yeah, although he does the thing every kid does, where he's just volunteering information. That's not. It's the best. I love it. That's the most classic kid thing. They walk in the door, they're like, "No, I didn't get into a fight today. I just asked you how your day was."
Something I really wish we got this episode was involving the actors' parents a little bit more again. We've gotten to see these interactions in past episodes that I loved, the bad parent agreeing to all these ridiculous things. But I wish that they had shown a clip of Nathan calling the parents back and saying, hey, we're going to be raising Adam as Christian, and then calling back and saying, oh, no, we're also going to be raising him as Jewish in secret. Also, he's not getting swimming lessons. Yeah. So I would have really loved that interaction.
Right. Yeah, we were under the impression he was getting swimming lessons out of this at least.
Yeah, I think they're getting much less consent from the parents, because Robin, it turns out from his Vice interview, it has a long rap sheet with law enforcement. So when the little bit that they show of Robin on the screen with the mom, and Nathan's like, oh, are you okay with him being the co-parent? She's like, yeah, he seems fine. They did not disclose very much to those parents.
Robin mainly interacted with a robot baby, though. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it
So
seems like
it's
Robin was there
probably
for
okay.
like 3 hours.
Robots have rights also, but
Yeah, we don't know what
Made for
level
robot
of like
babies.
cognition the robot baby has.
Yeah, knowing Nathan, he wasn't going to settle for just a typical non-sentient robot.
yeah.
Do we think the robot baby believes in Sasquatches, though?
Or
It could be-
Sasquatch is satanic, though. It's
Yeah.
confusing. Probably.
So many things to unpack with this show.
Yeah.
Just
I guess
so many
Angela
unanswered
Angela
things.
never gets to meet the Sasquatch guy because he's behind the camera from her perspective, right?
Truly unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, those two. Maybe those two could have ended up together.
Maybe they still will.
Maybe. Yeah.
One can only hope.
Rehearsal of season 2.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys are in any online groups, but Robin actually posted quite a few photos of him and Angela together
Yeah.
and has strongly implied that things are going well, or that at least they've spent time together since the show.
Yeah.
Yes, adult sleepovers even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Robin
Yeah.
is certainly making some implications.
Yes, very direct ones.
Yeah.
No condoms, I hope.
Of course not.
Ooh, I hope he's ready to homeschool that kid though.
Right. Well, he got a proper rehearsal.
No, he's out of here. He's got to get some sleep.
He's going to leave the first night.
Yeah.
All right, so we then get this kind of voiceover. Nathan's telling us he wants to practice getting what he wants without fighting, which is extremely relatable. I feel like doesn't everyone want that?
Yep.
And we get the reveal that it's winter, but it's not actually winter. They have blasted the whole set with snow, which is incredible. I mean, happy to see this HBO budget going to good use here and later on in the episode. And we see Nathan bring in, of course, another Nathan Fielder method graduate, Angela's fake double actress, who's named Anna in real life. And she is incredible. Holy moly.
So good.
Does this prove that the Fielder method is the greatest acting school of all time? Because her performance is exquisite.
Oh my God.
I wrote down like the timestamp for when I thought they were almost gonna kiss, and I like
Oh my
gasped.
God. Okay, Megan and I watched this episode together,
Oh, nice.
and like we had to stop because I was like, did they just almost kiss? I was convinced when they get into the fight and she's yelling at him and knocks over the lamp that they were gonna kiss.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is interesting.
She's like, "Do you feel anything?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa!"
But we haven't seen like Nathan and Angela kiss.
No,
No.
certainly not.
I doubt they do.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that's not rehearsal. Or
Well,
I don't know.
you
What's going on here?
I mean, you got to rehearse every possible outcome.
Right. Every option.
Yeah. He's going to tell Anna, like, now we have sex. I'm sorry. We just have to prepare just in case.
We have to be prepared. Yeah.
He has the flowchart ready.
That's right.
Nathan
It's right here on
has
the flow
read
chart.
Yeah.
How to Please a Woman and Drive Her Wild
That's
all
right.
night long.
Yeah. He read the book, right?
Now
Yeah,
he
he's got
does.
the audiobook, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem
yeah,
is
so-
the problem is it's read by someone with Nathan Fielder's voice. So
That's even better.
that's
Yeah,
that's a
I
Seinfeld
can't tell if
reference.
that's amazing or worse.
Yeah, it's a Seinfeld reference. You got it right.
Oh, now I do.
George doesn't like listening to books on tape that are read by people with George's voice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now I do. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that digression.
It's all good.
So this is where we first start seeing fake Angela pointing out the fact that it's Nathan's project and therefore she doesn't have a say, which I think we've gotten into a little bit, but probably warrants a larger discussion. Just in general about this weird power dynamic that we're seeing in the show, which is likely the whole point of the show, I imagine.
Yeah, so I'm not the ethicist you've been looking for, but I could still give my opinion, I suppose, this night not being eminently qualified. Yeah, I mean, we've been definitely getting into it. I mean, he definitely does like hijack this whole thing at a certain point, which like from our perspective is like fine, like we're watching the Nathan Fielder show, but like he is kind of like entering into this under false pretenses with her, but like he's doing that for everyone he's interacting with on any of his shows for the most part, to like some extent. So it's like this. I think we're just like more to Angela than we are to like the people from Nathan For You and from earlier. So I don't know that what he's doing is like qualitatively worse or different than what he always does.
Yeah, we get him directly saying this episode that he's not making fun of the people in the episode. He's more so just coming up with silly situations, and the situations are funny, but he's not laughing at the people or the actors within the show, which was interesting to hear him directly say.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly, maybe he believes that. I mean, I don't know. Like, certainly he's like choosing people that lend themselves to being funny in a certain way, right?
Yeah,
like he's not like
there's
randomly
certainly-
going out into the world and being like, oh, let's do it with this guy.
Yeah, he said this in old interviews too, like going back to like 2014. He's talked about the fact that like his goal is always to put people in these weird situations, and then he likes being involved in them specifically. So I definitely feel like he's not just like making it up on the spot. This is like a very strong opinion he's always had.
Yeah.
You guys have covered all the Nathan For Yous. Have you looked at any of his like stuff, his pre-Nathan For You stuff, like his local Canadian stuff?
Yeah, this hour has 22 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen
Who's
some
the
of those
tallest
clips online.
Canadian?
It's really good stuff. It's very, very funny, and yeah, I feel like I need to get into more of it. How
He was
long has
also a
that show been on
writer-
the air in Toronto, in Canada? Because when I
Oh.
lived in Toronto 25 years ago, it was on the air.
Oh, that's a great question. They're on TikTok actually. But I don't know how long it's been on. Forever, it feels like. 29 seasons, allegedly.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Daily Show or SNL or something in between the two of them, right?
Yeah, but very Canadian based.
Yeah.
Specific Canadian jokes. We have different jokes up here. The whole
Sure.
thing.
I'm sure. Lots of that, that's very internationally known, like divisive, horrible Canadian politics. That's, getting everyone all up in arms.
I mean, our premier ate a bee the other day and it made big news. So
Before she went to bed tonight, my wife told me she was very sad because she watched on TikTok about somebody who raised a bee for 28 days and then it died.
oh,
And then I said, well, how long does a bee normally live for? She's like, less than a week. I'm like, so why is this a sad story? The bee lived to be 300 years old. Like, celebrate.
It's really her just thinking about the fact that all bees are dying that made her sad.
I guess so.
that's a message we can all get behind.
Yeah.
Save
Yeah,
the bees.
Save
Yeah.
the bees.
Not a
need
hot
bees.
button
We need
topic
bees,
like,
yeah.
like we get onto on this show.
Is
Oh,
is
yeah.
the segue back into the show Winter in Canada?
Yes,
I
yes,
guess
that's
it
right.
is.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the
So
Canadian
my-
government has gone to great lengths to keep
Yeah.
it always in a
To
state
keep,
of winter.
to keep winter. So my favorite part about the winter segment is when he goes anywhere else outside of that circle and there's still snow on the car.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
This warms or cools my little heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
did the
think-
neighbors think? Because we see like the camera from above and there's other houses in the area.
Yeah, so this is a pretty big property. We found the name of it and looked it up, and it's like
Oh.
many acres. So I don't know if those are properties, like
Oh,
houses
interesting.
on the property. It might just be different areas because they do weddings at this place as well.
Oh, so the
they
whole
might
thing's
just be other
cordoned off,
buildings.
probably. Yeah, that makes sense. That's too bad. I would love to have this house in my neighborhood.
I know. It'd be so exciting.
Just go grab some cucumbers and peppers for dinner.
Yeah. Here's a true story. The house that I am in presently, my house, which is very old, was built in 1870. Before, in like the 90s, it was known in the neighborhood as the Halloween house because the people who lived here in the 90s would not just decorate the front yard with a lot of Halloween stuff, which, people do in certain neighborhoods. Like you always see houses like that. They would also decorate the entire first floor of the inside of their house. And they would just leave the door open the whole month of October and neighbors would just come in and stroll through like it was like a haunted house, which is a completely insane thing to do for like your primary home where you live. I don't know. Maybe 2022 is a different world.
So
But,
now
like-
all the neighbors are pissed that you discontinued
Well,
the
no,
Halloween
It
party.
was discontinued well before me because there's been like 5 owners since then.
Got it.
But like when we first moved to the neighborhood, older people were like, oh yeah, you live in the Halloween house. And so
If you ever sold your home, would you use the ghost realtor?
we actually also there was a rumor that we had 2 ghosts in our house.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I'm
But-
coming over immediately.
No, but
The word you're looking for is not rumor.
yeah.
Yeah.
My wife actually, she's like very into like the old history of our town. So she looked it up and found out the reason. In like 1900 in the census, there was 2 servants listed on the census. And then 1910, like the next census, it was everybody was there except the 2 servants, and there's no mention of them. So she thinks that's where it came from because the specific rumor is that there's 2 ghosts who are maids who clean up the house when no one's looking, and they do not exist. I promise. I've lived here for 5 years. So, but she thinks that's where
I mean, it's not a mystery. We know what happened to the people they died. That doesn't mean that they're ghosts.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, obviously,
all the people from that time died.
Yeah, but that's probably, we assume that's where this rumor came from, and
for the fact that they died.
No,
Therefore, they're ghosts.
No, well, but they're listed on the census. They're not listed on the next census. So yeah,
because they died.
I know, but if you want to believe in ghosts, then
why those people? Everyone died.
Okay, so you're saying so that's not the source of it. Okay,
that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that was.
I have multiple questions.
Okay,
the first, Alex, do you believe in ghosts?
No, of course not.
Oh my God, not this again.
Oh no, did I start something?
Well, no, it's
I mean,
fine.
Define believe in ghosts. Like, I enjoy talking about it because it's fun, but like, do I actually believe there are like Caspers or like sentient creatures that are invisible in my house?
No, there's no ghost. There's just one big ghost who's in charge of everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we famously used to ask all of the guests that would come on our podcast, is it cheating if it's with a ghost?
Yeah. Well,
no, because it's nothing.
No, I disagree.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you believe the ghosts are real, right?
Yes. If you don't believe in ghosts,
I agree with that.
So I can have sex with as many ghosts as I want, and my wife can't say anything to me because I don't believe in them. So,
and two, do you think that the neighborhood dislikes you because you no longer host a first floor haunted house experience for them? Is it them telling you about it, their disappointment that you have discontinued the tradition?
Yeah, so that's what I was asking before. Fortunately, it was discontinued well before our arrival. And like 5 owners before, like there's been a lot of owners.
You didn't ruin the tradition.
Yeah. And also most of our neighbors are also like, there's in my immediate vicinity, there's very few that have been here for more, like even longer than us. It's like a lot of turnover. So
yeah, maybe. Yeah, right. They're just like really passive aggressive neighbors. They're like, oh, the Halloween house. All right. It's the Halloween. So you know what goes on Halloween, right?
Yeah. We give candy to people who ring the doorbell. That's what happens on Halloween.
Yeah. That's
as long as you're not like a raisins or toothbrush house, you're in the clear.
No, my wife would never tolerate that. My wife has to get like very good candy.
Yeah.
My
mom's.
The mistake we made the first year is like, because we have little kids and so little kids go to bed, we don't want the doorbell ringing. So we turn the lights off and then we left candy in like a basket at the front door. We said, please take one. And then I came 5 minutes later, like literally 5 minutes later, and they were all gone. I was like, oh, that was very stupid.
Yeah.
It works better in Canada.
Oh, Canadians are too honest for that.
Yeah, we would only take one. But my mom's a school teacher, and so she always gets the full-size chocolate bars because she wants to be beloved in the town. So she gives out the good chocolate.
That's as good as it gets, a full-size candy bar.
All right, so we go back to Nathan and Angela. They're talking in real life, real Angela. He broaches the subject. She's a hard no. She says she cannot participate in Judaism at all. And then she throws in that Apocalypto is her favorite movie ever. And like Passion of the Christ is right there. So I'm so confused by this.
It's very confusing.
Nathan's disappointed.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with this Apocalypto.
I watched the trailer of it today. It does not look good.
Well, no.
Better or worse than the Passion of the Christ?
No, it's definitely better than Passion of the Christ, I will say. But it has like human sacrifice and stuff in it. I'm so rattled that she would pick this movie. It seems satanic. I don't know.
She has to learn what is and isn't satanic.
Yeah, you would think human sacrifice would be satanic if I was listing things that were satanic.
Do we think that the practice conversation would have gone better if they had done it in the Raising Cane's instead?
Yes, always.
Probably. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're eating good chicken.
It's not about the conversation. It's about where you have the conversation.
You're pretending to eat good chicken.
Yeah, he didn't employ his other tactics that we saw him use with Core, which is like he needed Angela to take a bite and then say the thing so that her mouth was full and she couldn't respond.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I totally forgot about that.
Next time.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't, and you might argue maybe this is what happened here, but like they haven't done any rehearsals where like doing the rehearsal is what screwed it up. Like you could totally see that happening. Like you kind of like overhyped yourself for a conversation that's like not that big of a deal. Like that could have easily happened with Core, right? Like he was building up this huge thing, and like Nathan was like hyping that up for him, and like he was like going through a conversation that wasn't really that bad. And
that is what happened though, isn't it?
No, because it ended up being fine.
He ended up coming through. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. But here, like, it goes very badly, and like, I wonder if, like, fake Angela, like, kind of like prepared her to be on like such a defensive that he like comes in the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
feel
this
like
doesn't go well.
This episode, we see Nathan a lot more aggressive than we do in any other episode of the rehearsal, certainly, and even some episodes of Nathan For You. Like, I think we see him break character a lot in this one.
So let me ask you the question, because I think like the biggest moment in the episode, right? Like that we talked about the almost kiss with Anna as fake Angela. Do we think that that's his real reaction, or do we think he's an actor? Because if he's an actor, he's a very good actor. It seems like it's real, but who knows what's real here? So what do you guys think?
Well, he's coming out with a scripted show, The Curse, soon, where we'll see him as an actual actor, and we can confirm if he's a good actor or not.
Fair.
For now, it's very hard to
Will he be
tell.
performing the Fielder method in that show? That's the question.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. It feels like his response to Anna, to me, looked like he was acting, or at least like he was in the head space of like, I'm Nathan Fielder of the rehearsal.
But he doesn't want us to think that, right? Like that's what,
yeah,
because he says sort of in a shaken voice, like, can you do it a little bit nicer? Like he wants us to think that's a real reaction.
Well, the issue with all of the other rehearsals were that there wasn't enough feeling in it, and that's why Cor had stuttered and paused before actually revealing his secret. And so in this rehearsal, we see Angela, or fake Angela, telling him directly, like, you're standing there like a stone, you don't have enough feeling, you don't have enough emotion. So did he need to figure out how to get more emotionally invested in that rehearsal for the real thing to go better?
Yeah, she's cutting deep. You guys brought up like the possibility of a kiss before. And now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been that's what Anna was setting up as an option. But because Nathan is so passive, he just sort of stepped back.
Yeah,
we also might have been reading way too much into it. We just got excited.
I don't know.
But I thought that we all
independently.
you thought that also, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we all independently thought that, like, it's I don't know.
No, it's portrayed as like a legitimate thing that's happening.
Yeah.
He tilted his head slightly, so we were like, "Whoa."
Yeah,
would have really taken me out.
There are awkward consent issues on a show where what's fake, what's real, who's acting, who's not. Like, I have no idea how to navigate that, because
we're going to listen to the episode with the ethicist. We'll find out the answers to all these questions. Okay. They'll tell us the correct answers. Can't wait, because this stuff has been on my mind. It's an interesting show. It's an interesting show.
Well, in Nathan For You, he hires an actor to go on a date with, and like even now there's still articles written about how much chemistry they have, and how like they're probably dating. Even in the bio about Nathan's divorce, it talks about Maisie, this actress, who he was probably seeing because they had so much chemistry on the show, and she was very clearly an actor hired for this as an escort. And so even actors who are told, oh, treat me this certain way, people will think that it's real after the fact.
Yeah,
I mean, most people meet partners at work, right? Isn't like statistically like, so this is his work.
Megan,
what?
You met your partner at work?
Oh, well, kind of, yeah.
So did I. We met and we were working in the same place at the same time. Although we 50%. Were equals. It's but it's very different, obviously, when one is like the creator of the whole show.
Yeah. I was getting
there's
shades
like that
of
power dynamic.
Yeah.
I was getting shades of the "I love you" again girl when he said the like when she
do it again
was
but nicer.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like to me when he kept just saying again and like getting more upset. So
I want to see the clip of her doing it nicer.
Maybe they kissed.
Whoa.
Maybe they're dating.
Release the footage.
Yeah.
Release them all.
So we get this big argument that goes on between Nathan and Angela, and then Nathan decides the best way to move forward is he's going to sign up Adam for swimming lessons, but secretly he's actually taking him to synagogue, but he realizes he can't actually answer a lot of the questions that Adam has, so instead he finds a tutor.
The craziest part about this whole thing for me was that everything is happening and it's still COVID. Like every time they leave the house, everyone's in a mask, and it's like very jarring.
Yeah, and at the synagogue, there's so few people and they're so spread out,
Yeah.
and you have to remind yourself, like, oh no, this is why we're doing this in this super remote place again.
Right.
Yeah. But like, I think like Portland is probably a more COVID conscious place than than many parts of America also. Anyway, even now.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of Adam's questions, of course, is why do the women not wear hats? Which to us as Orthodox Jews is funny because Orthodox Jewish women always cover their hair, more so than the men actually. But of course, yeah, in the synagogue, in most synagogues, it's not really like that. So
Yeah, it's pretty wild that he wins Adam over with kippah. He's like, here, I have a kippah for you.
yes. Do you want it? Because I ask my boys all the time and they say no. So
I feel like it's like the most leading thing ever, though. If you ask a kid if they want anything, and then you're like, but you can't have it if you don't do this, like they're obviously gonna say
then my
yes.
kids will say, oh great, then I can go eat a cheeseburger. That sounds much better.
Yeah.
Look,
Do Jews speak
this-
English was my favorite part of the whole episode.
This kid is just the most down for anything. He's
Yeah.
the most like yes, and he'll agree to anything. He's like the perfect sidekick.
Well, he understands sketch comedy. You have to escalate the sketch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Has he seen Key and Peele? Possibly.
he should watch
You-
it probably.
You see Angela showing it to him when Nathan's away, being like, "This is comedy, not Dr. Fart."
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I feel like Key and Peele might be a little too edgy for Angela. Maybe she saw it back when she was smoking weed and drinking alcohol,
In her fun days.
engaging in satanic practices.
Escalate the sketch is kind of like the mission statement for Nathan Fielder's whole career, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but I had to go further.
Yeah.
Yes.
is it
I
ever
wasn't going
far
far
enough?
enough. Yeah. Yeah. So let's meet Miriam. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, Miriam. So yes, Miriam, she's like his Jewish tutor, I guess, is the best description.
Yeah, I had a lot of questions. How did Nathan find her? Like, who is she in real life? Like, what's her title? Is she a rabbi? Is she a teacher?
She's Israeli, I think.
She's Romanian,
Mm-hmm.
but so Jim Crumley, one of our listeners, sent us right under the gun, like 3 minutes before we started, an interview with her, just posted this
Yes.
week. She had not. Did you guys have a chance to read that?
Yeah, I briefly skimmed it, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, she had not had a chance to see the episode yet, so she was a little apprehensive about how she'd be portrayed. She said, because she said she gave him a lot of stuff, and which she did. And then also she did respect the NDA more than many of the other interviews we've seen, and so she wouldn't answer any questions in particular about the show, but she did answer questions about her life in general and her background and how she ended up in Portland. So yeah. But I mean, she seemed, unlike Robin's interview in Vice, for example, she seemed much more normal and nice in her interview that I read than she comes off on the show.
Well, she hasn't seen herself portrayed yet. Maybe if she's not happy with that, she won't be so happy.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Yes.
Yeah, I think we go on a real
Also-
ride with her because, like, I imagine we were all cheering for her at the beginning. She
Sure.
seemed very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was just like a sweet kindergarten teacher at the
At
beginning.
first,
Yes.
yeah. Now, can we talk about some of the lies that fake Adam has to tell her? Like, the shower accidentally turned on, and then I.
But fake Adam pulled that out immediately. Like, I
But, like-
love him so much.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I don't want to get like really dark here, but like usually if a parent is like forcing a child to lie in like these ridiculous ways to strangers, it's to hide something like very bad, right? Like you always tell kids like you should never have secrets, right? You can have surprises but never secrets. And like it's like very bad and like I don't know what, if we look at it from the context of like what does Miriam think is happening here? What does she think the relationship is? Because if I unless she knew it was like that there was a fake parent, like if I saw, and it kind of sounded from the interview that I read that we read, it kind of sounded like she did know that it was a fake relationship and or that it was a rehearsal relationship. But like if she didn't, if I'm like seeing a child come out and give an obvious lie about a parent in the bathroom, I'd be like very nervous,
Yeah.
The bathroom situation especially is like very uncomfy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something to joke about, like, about
Yeah,
bad
when
things
he's
happen.
like, oh, well, he fell, he actually turned the shower on. Right, like alarm
Yeah.
bell should be going off right
Yeah.
there. Like, that's not normal.
Watching the show, especially the ending where they were talking about getting Angela to leave and the fact that Nathan has custody and she was surprised by that, it really led me to believe that she was not aware that it was a fake relationship.
Yeah, well, I think that's I mean, if that's the interpretation, then she's like an insanely evil person, right?
Yeah.
Like
She was like cheering.
Okay. So yeah, so she shows up in the middle of non-winter and sees pretend winter everywhere, which means it's not Hanukkah. Hanukkah's in December.
Right. That's true. I didn't even think of that.
She's
right.
celebrating
She's like
a fake Hanukkah, which is clearly not. So I have to assume, that she knows it's fake, because otherwise, her response to this child's mother has just moved out should not be the word awesome. That's like fucking psychopathic.
Well, if she really thinks she's like, oh, you know, crazy anti-Semite, I don't know, whatever. But
No,
but
it's
then
never
the
good for a child. I mean,
but the flip side of that, though, if it's fake, she shouldn't like feel that strongly that she needs to go like confront this woman.
listen, she's a zealot fighting anti-Semites wherever she finds them.
Like it's not really their kid.
She traveled from Romania to New York to Portland to find anti-Semites, and she's here.
That's right. Wherever she finds them.
She's a Nazi hunter.
And she's finding them in all sorts of places.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, she finds anti-Semites and our friend Angela, not our friend, but she finds Satanists.
Listen,
so.
you don't just overcook a hamburger.
Yeah. Yeah. So we get to Miriam thinks Angela's an anti-Semite, and I think Angela's many things, but that's not one of them.
Yeah, unless they just like they cut out worse things. We have no idea. Like maybe there was stuff that she said that justified it.
On the air, she says she wants to raise her child. She doesn't want her raise her child to be part Jewish because she's a faithful Christian. Like that's a reasonable position.
Completely fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of people feel that way.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people feel that way. Completely fine, maybe not. But lots of that's a normal
Miriam
thing.
says maybe one day you'll understand that the world does not revolve around Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not really sure about that. It kind of does.
You might want to fact check that.
Yeah.
What year is it, right?
It's rough. It's rough watching their interaction. It's just like the whole thing is hard to watch. And Nathan's just kind of standing there taking Miriam's side as best he can, as Miriam shoots from the hip, as she has told us in the car ride over.
Yeah,
but,
Nathan's pushing Angela out the door at this point.
Yeah, no one's winning here except for Nathan, I guess, and us as viewers.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if there's a better excuse than swimming Nathan could have used. Obviously, it's a very difficult excuse to execute as he needs to pour water on Adam's head every time, but that's what makes it funny. So is there a funnier excuse he could have used? Because obviously there's a much simpler one he could have used.
Like piano lessons would be better, for example.
What color was the piano of?
Right.
How many keys did it have?
We're going to the library.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, I played piano. There were 88 keys.
The teacher's name was Bob.
He had a mustache.
His whistle was red. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could go to like a carnival every time, and like come back with like big stuffed animals.
That's so much stuff to remember.
Right. Just remember how you tell him how he did in all the different games, all the tickets.
What when then the next lie is we're going to feed the chickens, and then they go hide in the basement to light the menorah. Like this made me, I mean, it was very funny, but also I could understand why you'd be a little uncomfortable with this, because like Jews having to hide and like try and secretly observe their rituals from real anti-Semites, like in basements and stuff and attics, is like a real part of our history. And so like Nathan
specifically it's the Hanukkah story.
Yes,
yes,
in particular. Yes, literally. I didn't even think about that till now. Is Nathan doing that? Is this all a religious simile?
I would guess not. I don't think it was that was intentional, but maybe.
Yeah. No, I
everything's intentional.
Everything's intentional, right? Everything that's smart is intentional. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pro all the Holocaust jokes. I'm pro whatever you want. I say laugh at everything, but you know, my mother-in-law would not like this episode.
Now, I feel like there's definite access to this basement from the main house because we see Nathan's cats roaming around in the basement. And obviously he has not locked his cats in the basement. So I don't know if they need to sneak down there.
They could just say they're doing literally anything down there. Like we see that Angela doesn't really care that much. She just wants to like dance or whatever in her room. Like she was in the room dancing when Adam OD'd when he was 16. So like I feel like they could have just done it in another room and she wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. Or do it in the actual chicken coop.
Oh, but the fire near the chickens. I imagine there's real chickens because it is a Nathan Fielder show and he does always like to do things.
He was going to feed them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just a thought that I just had though, like, and maybe someone answered this, but like, if she's completely not invested, then like, why does she care if the kid is like also like fine? So like, go do your Jewish thing with like while I'm like watching TV. Like, she doesn't care anyway. Like, why is she putting her foot down?
She's invested when Nathan's there.
Yeah.
He's invested when Nathan's there. Okay.
Because that's Nathan's whole point. He's like, you don't try to do this rehearsal when I'm away, but you really want to control it and dictate what this is for me when I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's why we perceive her as the bad guy. Well, and that's why she's kind of the bad guy.
Yeah, no, but it's just like she just like shouldn't care. Like
she really shouldn't.
Yeah,
I feel like part of it too is that she wants to show that she's like a quote, heavy air quote, good Christian on the TV show. So I think she's very aware of how she's going to be perceived if she were to let her child be quote unquote raised Jewish, her fake child.
Right. Yeah, but like everyone who is shown in this episode cares very deeply about this from both sides. So it's like it's all, even though it's all pretend. Yeah, I guess some things go deeper than reality.
Yeah, and Angela says Nathan likes to manipulate people and lie, and like, yes, I agree with her.
Yes,
100%.
that's the show.
Yeah.
Have you seen our show?
Base take. And you guys, great news. The alligator bar is back.
All right.
Yes. Well, Nate's Lizard Lounge is back.
Please, yes. She frequented this bar in real life.
Oh my gosh, we're so jealous.
Not Nate's Lizard Lounge, of course. Or maybe yes, I don't know. I mean, how cool would it be to own your own bar that HBO paid for?
Why couldn't they just call it Dumb Alligators Bar?
Oh my god.
Oh,
that'd have been a great callback.
Yeah. Although maybe he doesn't want to do that because maybe he doesn't want people to he doesn't want people to think it's Nathan for You. He wants them to think it's like a real bar.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
it is a real bar.
I think he really wanted those locals coming in.
Yeah, I didn't know it was so easy to get a liquor license in Oregon. You get one temporary for like your fake show. Like
when you have HBO behind you, you could probably make a lot of things happen.
Perhaps, yeah. Would you guys go to a bar where you first open a door and walk through a long winding hallway for like 90 feet? I'd be a little scared.
I would think it's probably an awesome bar.
I don't know at what point you walk back though. Like how deep in do you get? At some point you're like, I'm already in it.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's how they get you.
I did convert 82 feet to meters because I was like, I don't know how much that is. And it's 24 meters. So it's almost the length of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
If anyone needs a visual on how far that is and is also in Canada.
Yeah, it's not short. And it's weird because you're entering like it looks like a warehouse. It's like a giant building, and then you just enter a tiny hallway.
I've gone to some pretty bad bars, so I feel like I would venture inside. Megan and I used to frequent a bar that was in a basement where everything was wet all the time.
That sounds very.
The walls were wet.
Wet
the
with what?
Always flooded. You don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. We hope water.
We hope it wasn't raw sewage. Yeah.
Well, if anyone's been to Phil's in Waterloo, shout out.
Yeah.
There's like immediately a steep staircase down, and it's a university bar. And if you could make it to the bottom without falling, like you were good to go.
All right. Well, thank you, Phil's, for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also see a couple of our old friends in the Lizard Lounge, specifically Thomas is slinging za in the back there.
Yeah.
Glad to see him.
I mean, does every single person in this bar, like not the actor people, but like the locals who come, they must have to sign something, right? Because their faces are disclosed. They're not fuzzed out, I don't think.
They're not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Nathan's going around introducing himself to people, saying, "Oh, welcome to my bar. I'm Nate."
That's the dream of having your own bar. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. So now we have our dream bar where you first have to walk 90 feet to get to a door, and then you're immediately forced to sign a waiver upon entering the bar. It's gonna be a great night.
Yeah, I feel like you must just tell people like, "Oh yeah, it's a reality TV show. Don't worry about it." Right?
Yeah,
that's the only way you can get around it.
I assume that's what happens. Yeah. And like just people just have like a very innate desire to be on TV, and they'll just like sign things if you tell them they'll get to be on TV.
Do we think it was free to like drink and eat there too, or like was that how they were recouping some of the costs from HBO paying for this?
That could be. Yeah, Nathan. Maybe we'll find out in the final episode that Nathan's quit acting and he's just going to run this bar and he's doing really well.
If it was a free bar, it'd be much more full, unless it was like COVID rules. They couldn't fill more than that many people in it at a time.
Oh yeah, true.
Maybe it's a haunted bar, and that's the start of the curse.
Possible. Is going to an open bar a satanic ritual? Probably yes.
I've learned like anything that is fun sounds like it's probably a satanic ritual if we're going by Angela's standards.
Yeah, well, that's how Satan gets you.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
No
also
fun.
owns Google.
Right, he controls Google. He controls everything.
Yeah, no eating poo. All of those fun activities that we were all going to get up to later today.
Frankly, eating chocolate is probably also satanic, so he was covered either way.
Yeah. So we learn Angela has also not been keeping up with her fake Etsy business, which we had discussed this a little bit and had looked for the Etsy business on the podcast, couldn't find it. Obviously now we know it is absolutely not real, but loved to see the USPS fake driver. Incredible touch.
So what was she supposed to be doing for her fake Etsy business?
She was
Creating
supposed to
skin
be
cream.
Selling the skin creams that she was making.
So
But
her
but
fake
actually?
reality, yeah, so in her dream future, she's a very successful Etsy owner. So her typical day-to-day would be fulfilling these orders while managing a family. So she was supposed to be fulfilling fake orders that a very real mailman would pick up.
And they would go where?
Who
Great
knows?
question.
Like, was
Maybe
somebody
he
really
just drives
buying
around.
stuff? Is there a customer out there on Etsy who didn't get their stuff because Angela blew it off? That's what I want to know.
I know. I think HBO just bought something and mailed it to them.
Yeah, I
Okay,
wonder if they were
I
just
see.
like empty boxes she was supposed to be packing too.
Right? Yeah, I'd really like them to drill down more on this.
We saw her making skin cream at one point. So there was at least a brief period of time she was actively creating.
Yeah, you know, follow your dreams, everybody. If
For
you want to
sure.
start an Etsy business, go right ahead and do that.
But don't fulfill fake orders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if somebody buys your stuff, you should send it to them.
But yeah, how do we feel when fake Angela threw the lamp also in their argument?
Riveting. I love
Riveting
her.
TV.
I wish she'd throw a fake lamp at me.
Listen, she's escalating. She knows how to do improv.
Right, she's learning.
She really does.
She wanted Nathan to feel something.
Oh, he felt
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we do get the big confrontation of real life Nathan and Angela. He calls her controlling, and she kind of pushes it back onto him. And she says, you know, I can't see the end in sight. I feel like I've gotten closure from the project, and she decides she wants to leave.
So I'm surprised that they didn't actually let her experience the 18-year-old Adam. Do we think that they filmed that and then she left, and they didn't show it, or that just never happened?
Sounded like she said she was done. No.
Yeah, I would guess that they never got back.
She quit the
past
way that
wherever they
Patrick
are.
quit.
Yeah, I mean, she got
Off
to
to
go,
find a funnel cake.
Yeah, she got to go to 15 at least with Josh.
Right, he only died
Um,
once.
He only died the one time. I mean, I don't blame her for this at all. Like, it's pretty shitty that Nathan turned back time on her.
Yeah.
She probably didn't know she was going to be here for this long. I understand why she would quit as well.
Yeah, 'cause it seems completely reasonable to me that she's had it. It's a very crazy thing to begin with. So listen, she did it for a long time. It's like not working out. So time to move on.
But it's a great house. So
Yeah,
I would also try to keep that going instead of going back to my apartment.
fair.
Yeah, her apartment was pretty small. I wonder if she could work as like a PA or something.
All right, so I want to talk about for a second. You know, you referenced it and you said it was like the great confrontation, and I'm really disappointed because like it wasn't like to me like the Nathan and the fake Angela going hard at him was like to me like the best part to that point of the show, of the series. You know, Nathan again, like, is he acting? Is he actually affected? And then you're so excited, or speaking for myself, you guys tell me if you disagree. I was so excited, like, to see Nathan discover that Angela's been faking it the whole time. And I'm like, yes, he's going to confront her about how she's faked it. And it's going to be so satisfying. And then we don't even get that. And it's like he rehearsed for this and everything. And he just like wilted. And it was just so disappointing to me. Like I was all pumped up to see this like confrontation, and it didn't really happen that way. And he just sort of meekly said, okay, we're going to go our separate ways. You're going to leave the show. He never calls her out for like faking it. Right.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't like completely over the top, but like it's also just a show. Like, yeah, he's not going to be as like emotional as like.
No, but like, didn't you want to see him say like, you've been faking it this entire time. You haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing whenever I'm not around. Like, there were cameras here. How could you, like, do you think we wouldn't find out about this? It's like, I'm really disappointed in you. Like, like we gave you this fancy house in Oregon. You had this whole opportunity and you just wasted the whole thing. Like, he never says any of that to her.
Like, he does call her out for faking it and not following along with the rehearsal, because he's saying, like, you don't even care about it when I'm not here, but you care how I act and how what I get from this experience. But it was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like, the climax of this episode was with the fake Angela, and it's upsetting it wasn't with the real Angela.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I understand why she would kind of shut down like this too, though, because it seems like this kind of comes out of nowhere if you're Angela, where it's like things seem to be fine. All of a sudden, Nathan is like, I want to raise the kid Jewish. They start having all these fights where it seems like they hadn't been having them before. And I feel like she had just checked out like way earlier in the week, like when they were originally arguing in the kitchen. So I think by this point, she was just like, whatever. The next time he brings this up, like, I'm done. And I do think that her saying, like, I don't understand, is this a collaboration? Like, what's going on? I thought you were going to direct me more. Kind of. I really like that part of it. And I thought that her choice of words saying specifically, like, I thought you were going to direct me more, was very interesting.
Yeah. Now, a lot of our listeners seem to believe that she's an actor. And I think if she was an actor, they wouldn't have left that line in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that she's an actor.
Yeah, she's a real person who might want to, she's trying to get on a TV show. She's kind of pretending to be an actor, but she's not an actor.
No, I feel like she definitely genuinely believes everything that she's saying. And if not, you would just find someone who does. Like, there's no point in getting an actress for this part.
Yeah. I agree with you, definitely.
I feel like a lot of people just want to say she's an actor because they're like uncomfortable with seeing someone like this on their TV screens. And like similar when people were upset with like Robin being on the show and that kind of stuff, like, just because someone makes you feel uncomfortable does not mean that they are not a real person.
Right.
All right, can we get to the last couple minutes of the episode?
Yeah, wait, I do want to talk about the
glorious return. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, the divorce, when he tells Adam about the divorce. Very casual.
Your mother is gone. And then when he asks Adam, like, who am I? Who am I? And he's like, daddy.
Yeah.
I love it when the kids don't remember who he is. It's my favorite.
Well, the kid's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's never around. He's off in LA teaching film school.
Yeah, when kids just shrug and they're like, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't know a lot.
But yes, I do agree. We should get into this Miriam situation when she arrives back at the house, and she's so elated to hear that, Angela's gone and Nathan's going to be parenting by himself.
Oh, Miriam. I just, for me especially, Angela, the way that we find out she's been faking it the whole time, I'm like so mad at her, and I'm like, oh, what a fucking asshole. She's gonna win my award for fucking asshole of the episode. And then Miriam shows up, and these last 2 minutes are like, oh, it's so terrible. Like, as I think, like, she reminds me of so many people who I think we both know of, and then maybe you guys know as well, Kelly and Megan, who like, and everyone has in their own lives people like this on whatever the issue it is, where like someone has a very strong partisan position about an issue, but doesn't really have the firmest grasp on the facts to support it. So they sort of like spout out like slogans and things they sort of half picked up, but they do it in a way that, like, for those who aren't already like fully committed to their side, I think just turns people off even more.
Yeah, the way that it's presented too, where she's just kind of like talking and it's like the credits are rolling, like fade to black, and it's just Miriam like going on and Nathan barely saying anything in response. Just absolutely incredible the way that they did this.
Yeah, it's like a very Veep ending.
The ending is and I'm interested to see another interview with Miriam after she sees that editing. But you know what? She said, like, you have a platform, you have to put this on the show, and he put it on the show. So
that's true. That's true. She did get her message out there. It's very interesting that, like, putting aside like the politics of it all, like she's like literally doing the same thing as Angela. Arguably in a more nefarious way, less nefarious way, whatever. But like she's like her her only rationale for this position is tribalism. Like she's like doesn't even say because like Israel has this moral position and this political position and this legal position. It's just because like this is your team, so you should support them. Which is like literally what Angela was just being like, well, Judaism denies Christ, so nothing that could be done.
Yeah, although from her perspective, he came to her because he wanted to put that perspective on, right? He came to her ostensibly because he wanted the Jewish position or whatever.
But this is not the Jewish position. The Jewish position is support Israel because you're
no,
Jewish.
no. Okay,
it's because there's reasons to.
But because she's doing that's what I'm saying. She's a bad advocate for a cause. She doesn't really fully understand it, but she can't articulate it. But but she thinks that's what I'm saying. She thinks she's doing a good thing, and I think there's a lot of people like this in the world on political issues, on religious issues, who think that they're like, good partisans for their side, but they're really not because they come off in a really cringeworthy way. And,
Yeah. And it's so clear that she doesn't like actually want to talk to Nathan about it. She just wants to like talk at him.
Yes.
Which I think makes it even worse because it's so obvious.
Well, but to be fair, like Nathan, that's the reaction Nathan gives everybody. He always says, yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah. No matter what crazy things people say to him, like,
right.
Oh, they're Sasquatches and satanic. Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like, I wonder, did she bring up like Palestinian civilians as a complete non sequitur, or like, did Nathan trigger it the way he like, brought up Mel Gibson or whatever? I don't know. To Angela.
Yeah, we don't know where this came from.
Yeah, I would love to hear how this came up. I mean, I'm sure that there was something that brought this up on the show, but
it doesn't take much for a person of Miriam's type.
Well, but let me ask you another question, because this is particularly the point that I think I'm making. Like, when Miriam sees this episode, will she think that she comes off badly in this last couple minutes, or will she not? I don't even think she will.
I think she'll think that the show is like making like her like the butt of a joke, like that.
Will she?
I think so. Like as you said before, like the way that they frame it as like the ending of the episode, this kind of like absurdist way where it's going past the credits is like I don't think like she's gonna view it as like, oh, they put me as like Dakota because like I had a great message. Maybe she'll. I don't know. Then she's really not self-aware.
It's tough to say because like it's not like they add any like goofy music or anything, right?
True.
Like, and she was there for the conversation. It doesn't seem like they cut it up at any point, like when they start talking about it. So yeah, actually, you might be right. She might just be totally like, oh yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, it could be.
I came off great.
Yeah, and this is once again like Nathan like doing the thing where he's not like standing up, right? He's just like being overpowered by someone with a stronger opinion.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that like this has come up so much more with the rehearsal, where I think people in Nathan For You were treated much worse than people who have been on this show, and had said things that are much worse than anything that has been said on the rehearsal thus far too.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, maybe they just signed stronger NDAs on Nathan For You. I don't know.
I mean, which show had a broader audience, do you think, or a larger audience? Because HBO is bigger than Comedy Central, but like this show seems to be relatively.
It's definitely more zeitgeisty. I don't know.
This one is
more
Rehearsal is.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm in a bubble where I host a Rehearsal podcast.
I see Rehearsal stuff everywhere. I get push notifications on my phone.
Yeah, it does seem bigger in that way than Nathan For You ever felt. I watched every episode of Nathan For You, and I was a big fan, but just like it never felt like something that anyone was talking about it contemporaneously.
Yeah, I feel like
I would agree.
Yeah, I feel like
HBO seems way bigger.
Yeah.
Anecdotally, more people listen to the Rehearsal podcasts than our Nathan For Us podcast.
More people listen to the Rehearsal podcast than our current podcasts.
Yeah, I think that has to do with it that it's coming out weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's much more interesting than a show that was on in 2002.
And the donuts that they ate apparently were very good. So at least they got to end on that part.
Yes, but they're not real sufganiyot. It's not real. No, sufganiyot are delicious. That is correct. Miriam is not wrong about everything.
All right, are we ready for our ratings of the episode?
I think so.
Well, I don't know how official any of these rankings really are.
Right,
I'm ready.
Why don't you go first?
All right. I thought this episode was very fun overall. Some good characters, some good twists and turns. We kind of come to a conclusion of the full Angela thing. I guess remains to be seen where this goes next. But overall, I would say this is kind of like an average episode of the show, which I've been rating pretty highly. So I'll say this episode is pretty good for pretties. I continue to enjoy this ride.
And Megan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. I also said it was pretty good. I
As you do every
completely
weekend,
agree.
Nathan, for us, obviously, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I completely agree that it was a fantastic episode. I love some of the twists and turns we got. I like the funny little segments where we get the snow. And just the silliness of pouring water on Adam's head and pretending he's at swimming lessons. But I think he could have taken it further. So I think what lacked in making it a 5-star episode was really being able to push the boundaries of, a classic Nathan Fielder sketch where it just goes above and beyond its ridiculousness. And I think we've identified a few spots in this episode where it could have been bigger and grander, and it was a little anticlimactic at points that we thought could have been pushed further.
Kelly, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to give a half, but
Sure.
I'm gonna
Of
do
course. There's two
pretty-
schools of thought. Either you say the word very quickly, or you just say the first few letters of the word.
pretty good.
Okay.
Like a 3.5 for me. I thought it was actually, this might be a hot take, but I actually thought this was the weakest episode that we've seen so far.
Oh wow.
For me personally. And I think part of it is like, honestly, I'm a little bit tired of Angela. I just think that we've seen so much of her, and while I think that the episode had a good message and it was interesting to kind of see the different things that they talked about, especially in terms of like the reality TV of it all, I just thought that it was a little bit too much Angela for my liking.
Yeah, and I guess it is also just like kind of frustrating at the end that the whole like Angela thing didn't really add up to much. And now it's just gonna be like, all right, now let's see how this works out with Nathan on his own in episode 6. So it's like that wasn't the show.
But
Yeah, I reserve the
but
right
that was
to
the
love
show.
it next week.
We just
if it's
didn't
different.
realize.
I guess, right? Yeah.
I mean, we saw the names of the episodes right away. HBO released those, and episode 6 is called "Pretend Daddy." So
Yeah.
him being the dad, of the kid at the end of the episode was, I think, pretty clear from episode like 3 or so. That's where we were going.
Right, I guess.
And in the poster and everything, it has his fake family.
Yeah,
But
right.
I think it would
he's
be
the only real one, exactly.
So I think after the show, it's very clear the direction that it was going. And partway through, he knew that he would be the only one playing with this family. But it would be interesting to know at the very beginning, especially with the core episode, what he thought this show would be. Because I suspect that this is not how he envisioned it going.
Yeah, I think you guys tackled it in your first episode where you talked about like the pilot kind of being clearly like something completely different and before
And-
COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
But you
Yeah.
guys have touched on a debate. Like some of our listeners think, like, no, he sketched out this whole thing from the beginning. He knew exactly where it was going. He was just finding like the route to get there.
I don't think so. I think Patrick leaving is very anticlimactic. I think not having more rehearsals when the show is called The Rehearsal.
Right.
I would agree that Angela could have paid off a little bit more. Her just leaving on a very pleasant note and, saying thank you quite a few times. I think it could have been much more dramatic if it was planned ahead of time. I think we could have had more rehearsals if there was at least one every episode, even if they wanted this overarching plot. I think COVID had a very large impact, and being able to find people definitely impacted it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of find it hard to believe that like the plan from the beginning was for like Nathan to like take over this whole thing and like kick the woman out. Like,
Was the plan from the beginning of Game of Thrones for Blank to take over the throne at the end? Like, just because we didn't see it doesn't mean that wasn't the plan all along.
Do you think you have to censor for spoilers still?
I'm just trying to be sensitive here. I don't.
always so sensitive.
It's 1-1. It's the giant.
One
That'd
with the
be
giant.
fun.
Yeah, he's
That'd have been classic.
Would have been
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Before I get to my rating, I just noticed that the whole time I've been here, I've been drinking Waterloo seltzer, and we talked about Phil's in Waterloo. So
There you go.
I notice it's orange, and it's too satanic for this episode.
it's
Very
pe-
Halloween.
Are peaches satanic? I don't know.
Right. Oh, that's what he says, right? I'm going to come home with oranges. You're going to say this.
Yeah.
That's great.
Too bad, unfortunately. Yeah, peach. All right. So, I didn't like the last few minutes of the episode just because I was like, it was too cringeworthy for me. I was frustrated by the lack of the confrontation with Angela going as I thought it might. But like as a concept, I think this episode is just brilliant. To me, it finally reveals where we're actually going all along, which is this is about Nathan. It's not about Angela. It's not about anyone else. It raises even more questions about what's real and what, Nathan's emotions and confronting his tendencies in romantic relationships and his religion and his cultural identity. Is this actually Nathan Fielder? Is this all an act? Like, I'm just super, super fascinated to see the finale, to get a deeper glimpse of that. I also think just talking it through with you guys, like on this podcast, I've become like, we really highlighted the parallel of like Angela controlling him and then his parents controlling him and then Miriam controlling him. And I've brought up how like the Hanukkah story is about, hiding your, so I really like all of that. So for me, I'm going to say it's pretty good. So that's 4.5.
Oh my.
Whoa.
I really, really, really like this episode. Just, the last couple minutes, a couple things annoy me, but listen, making me cringe doesn't necessarily mean it's not good. It just, let's go to the come with guys or gals.
Oh, come on, be a come with guy.
And I'll go first, and I'm going to do something. I don't know if it's allowed. Nathan Fielder, he's my come with guy. Either he's like confronting his own emotions, or he's a marvelous actor, or a mix of both. But like, no matter what it is, I just say kudos. Like, I think this is so interesting, and I'm super pumped for the next episode. Kelly, what about you?
I got to give it up to my man. He worked his way through medical school. I'm going to give it to Dr. Fart today. I really liked the opening. I thought it was super funny. And I just think that the kid actors, all of them so far, have been pretty good. This one with his little lies that he was telling, he was just so cute. I don't know. He was so wholesome. And
Is it the same kid through all of that? Because that's pretty good if it is.
I actually could not tell.
So Dr. Farts was different than the swimming kid.
Yes.
And I'll just jump in here because Sneaky Adam is also my come with guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability to lie on the spot when he lies about the shower immediately, and it seems as though Nathan doesn't even prompt him. He seems like the most come with guy, and he's like almost saying lies before Nathan. He's like, no, I got this covered. Don't even worry.
He rehearsed
like,
for these lies.
Yeah, he's like, I know what's going on. He could have even come up with the fact that they were taking swimming lessons, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's like leaning over in the parking lot, letting him dump water on his head.
So 2 different versions of Adam. There's 2 different come with guys here.
I like Adam number 2. He seems like a real one, as discussed, not a snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with a come with gal. I'm going with fake Angela. She was dynamite. Much more intense than real Angela, which it takes a lot. And she just, she actually almost won Nathan over in more ways than one. So she wins my award.
I was so sure that it was going to be 3 fake Angelas and then me vouching for Adam because fake Angela was spectacular.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Really good.
And she's
He's
also
going to get work
isn't
out
she
of
also
this.
working at the Lizard Lounge?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a bartender.
She's also the bartender.
She's all over the
Moonlighting.
place.
Yeah. By the way, I did just look up on Wikipedia the ratings for the rehearsal compared to Nathan For You, and it might surprise you to learn that many, many, many more people watched Nathan For You than watched the
Wow.
rehearsal. Nathan For You averaged, a bunch of these episodes like 300,000, 500,000, 400,000, and the rehearsal is like paltry. It's like 50,000, 56,000, 117,000, 87,000.
We know all of them.
Yeah, it's it's a funny thing how bubbles work. But
Like
yeah,
the percentage of those people that are listening to one of these podcasts is kind of crazy, actually.
but it's like it's being covered
Yeah.
like everywhere, and like I don't think Nathan For You ever felt like it was, but maybe I'm just misremembering.
well, isn't it just like how Mad Men never had the viewers of 2.5
Right.
Men? But like,
Yeah, right, exactly.
it's
Same
just a
thing on
simple
different
function.
scale.
Everybody had Comedy Central on cable, and now you have to subscribe, and there's all different streamers, and it's got to be pushed to the front of your page, and like. There's shows on Netflix that have 100 million viewers that I've never heard of because they're just not on my page. It's not in my like bubble. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I
And
feel like
again,
HBO is not doing them any favors with like the marketing either. I feel like they have not pushed the show very much.
oh, yeah. And
And-
and it's super weird, but they make it seem even weirder in the promotions.
And Nathan hasn't posted on any of his own social medias really about it. He hasn't been promoting it as the episodes are coming out. It's been very like quiet on all of his pages.
He hasn't even come on our podcast.
Very, very
Rude.
rude. This was the episode to join for. And I think to all of us, of course, we're in a bit of a bubble, but again, with the episodes coming out every week, I know that Kelly and I are in a bunch of Facebook groups online. We follow the Reddit. There's constantly articles being written about it. It just
Yeah.
seems like this much bigger thing than I guess it is because just everywhere we look, and we're just talking about it all the time.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You're a fucking asshole. That's what you are.
Kelly, who is the fucking asshole in this episode?
Oh my gosh. I have 3 people written down. I need to pick one of them. I'm going to say it's Nathan.
Fair.
This one.
Fair.
I love Nathan. I think that, in this episode specifically, we really see how much he is willing to push these kind of seemingly normal people for his own benefit. Obviously, I still love the guy, though. And I love what he's putting out.
All right. What about you, Av?
I'm gonna go with Miriam. I think she, she tries to start a religious war on the show, and those tend to not go well. So I think that's warrants the fucking asshole of the week.
All right, Megan.
So I'm a little bit more specific. I have Miriam's hip. I think it was all talk, and she gave up real quick. And also her hip deprived us of another rehearsal on the drive over. Nathan asked if she wanted to rehearse first. She said no. And we had fake Angela, an amazing actress, waiting. We could have had a big rehearsal for this scene. And she deprived us.
Yeah. So Miriam's hip. What an asshole that hip is.
Not a fan.
Yeah. For me, like, with 29 minutes to go in the episode, I would have said Angela, because again, I just think faking the whole premise of the show is just frustrating to me. If I'm Nathan, I'm really annoyed by that, or maybe not, because you get to flip it around and change the narrative and you edit it differently. But this person gets flown halfway around the world, go through the motions, man. It would be like someone on another reality show, acknowledging the producers, or just doing the things they tell you not to do. It's kind of it's disappointing. But then the last 3 minutes, Miriam just takes it she's the worst representative of Zionism that I've seen in maybe since Jared Kushner or something like that. So, as we said, people like her, I'm not even sure if she's aware of how terrible she is. She told Nathan she wanted these things on HBO. She might even be happy. I don't know. So I'll say that Angela is my fucking asshole of the season for getting this amazing trip and not even following the rules. And then Miriam is for this episode.
Yeah, Angela sucks, but I cannot blame her for wanting to do the absolute bare minimum and getting a free trip out of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Postman! Postman, come here! Tell the neighborhood! With a shanda, Larry David! Not only are you a lousy Jew, but you're a lousy human being! He screws the wife of a man in a wheelchair! A shanda!
Maybe you should have given me some candy.
You're a lousy Jew!
All right, we have first from Will Lane, who says, hello, referring to the email you read on episode 4. I had binged all 4 episodes of the rehearsal, and when I finished, I wanted to look for a podcast. And the pretty good podcast was the first thing that popped up. When I got to episode 2, I heard you mention the name change, so your marketing worked. He says he really enjoys the episode with Ali last week. He's also a huge Curb fan, and he's excited to have a podcast library to go through. So, 2-for-1 special for Will Lane.
And if you like Nathan For You, you got another podcast also with a whole back catalog.
I'm a big Ali Lasher fan, and I absolutely loved the episode which she was on. I thought she was an excellent guest.
Yes, thank you.
What do you think of the fake Ali?
Akiva could have done a little bit more method acting. Could have checked out what kind of tea she drinks, looked at her writing, might have improved.
Yeah, he didn't put in the effort.
Not a student of the Fielder method.
No, certainly not. The Kiev method and the Fielder method are very far apart. Well, speaking of Ali Lasher, she writes in as well, and she says, 5 pretties, laugh out loud funny. Come with guy is actress Angela for cutting to Nathan's core. Honorable mention to the child actor who pulled off flawlessly lying about his Jewish lessons. The effing asshole is honestly probably the Jewish tutor.
Yeah.
Agree.
Base. Yeah, all base takes.
Michael Breveridge, he says the come with guy is Dr. Farts. He's unconventional, but gets the job done. Fucking asshole is Miriam for shooting from the hip and not wanting to rehearse, which goes against everything I've learned in the last 5 weeks.
Whoa.
He says this is his... This is his
this
episode.
Me?
Yeah, he wrote it under.
Yeah,
Michael Beveridge has been studying the Nathan For Us podcast and rehearsing this email. He says this is his favorite episode so far, certainly the funniest, though Young Adam 2.0, and some great visual gags. I give it the full 5 out of 5. The aforementioned Jim Crumley says Apocalypto was fine. While there was fun to be had with Fielder running people with the opposite worldviews around against each other, those Angela fighting with Miriam felt less insightful than most of the scenes. Nathan succeeded in scaring Angela off, which was good because her story was running thin, and he gives the episode 3.5. Come with guy is Nathan's dad. He clearly didn't want to be there, but was supporting his son anyway. The fucking asshole is Nathan. Angela's probably a bigot, but Nathan's passive-aggressive fake swim lesson chicanery was a little bit much.
I would pay an infinite amount of money to see Angela watching this episode, seeing Nathan pretending to take Adam to swimming lessons.
Or maybe she doesn't care. I don't know.
Or maybe she do.
But if she cared, yeah, she'd be probably.
A mother always knows.
Yes.
I feel like you can tell. Like, you would be able to tell if a kid did not go to swimming lessons. They would not smell like chlorine. Like, he was so wet.
Yeah. My
From
kids,
swimming.
my kids
How
are the
would
worst
you
liars.
see that?
6-year-olds are very bad liars.
This kid's an excellent liar.
Yeah. Well, he's a professional actor. My kids are not, so that's true.
Yeah.
You mean you don't respond to Craigslist ads for your kids?
Any more?
Yeah, we got two more. Zach Brooks says Nathan likes to manipulate people is the thesis statement of his career. And the clothes, I thought you said clothes delivery, made me laugh so hard. Tons of Jewish questions and answers that will get this podcast back to its roots. Come with guy is the Jewish tutor. Pretty good. A Jewish tutoring podcast could be the next idea once the rehearsal ends. Fucking asshole is a tie between Angela, Mel Gibson, and the biased media. And he ends off saying, "For pretties, get a life, Jews, and use your platform to talk about how beautiful Israel is." Yeah. And finally, with the return of Olin Allen to the Postman.
Wait, hold on. Before we let Olin Allen close, there was one comment from from Beat Rose in the chat that we have.
Yeah.
Podcast, which I wanted to read and get your guys' feedback on. I thought this is a nice little piece of writing here, or he has a good idea. Anyways, he says, "I think there's a really interesting commentary on control and having control of our lives that's going on. Nathan puts it up to Angela that she got to choose everything about the scenario, then she was in control, but she felt like he was in control because of his show and he's controlling things, which of course we talked about. I think there's a lot of times in life where it's easier to feel like someone else is in control, which brings in a lot of religion. And Nathan and Angela both wanted the other person to feel like they're in control while still having it go the way that they want. It's a very common feeling in life and relationships, etc. The whole idea of the rehearsal in general seems to be what you can and can't control in a situation. Ultimately, Nathan trying to control things he can't control, which is probably a component in why religion hasn't been a very big part of his life, meaning like Nathan's real life. So what do you guys think about that from Beat Rose? Jason?
Yeah, I mean, definitely on the control piece, like, I think that's at the basic premise of the show. He talks about it a lot in every episode. And we see it in his flowchart building, and then even going back to episode 1 when Core goes off script and kind of throws things out the window. In terms of the religion part, that's pretty interesting. I don't know, Meg, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you have to say. It's kind of funny because I think in a lot of religious beliefs, and I'm not religious and I don't know a lot about religion, so definitely correct me if I'm wrong. But I think a lot of it is having faith that like this is the way things are supposed to be and that you don't actually have as much control as you think you do because, you know, there's a higher being controlling everything and things are meant to be. So it's interesting that Angela had such a strong opinion on it instead of perceiving it as like, maybe this is God testing me and I should be standing up for Jesus in this moment and I should stay and make sure that this voice is heard on HBO and like this big platform. But from the Nathan perspective, it's interesting that he, again, is telling Angela that he doesn't feel that he's in control. But I think that would also, for him, be accurate because he's getting influence from his parents. There's the whole HBO, and he is the director. So maybe he should be perceiving that he actually has more power than he thinks he does, or that he's letting other people believe.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, like the religion thing. I mean, for like a lot of people, it's like the alternative is just like randomness and chaos, and like that's like so scary. Like just like kind of like the way conspiracy theories, like for people, like they make them feel better that like, oh, it's because, you know, like there's really like a deep state that's like pulling the strings, rather than just like, so no, shit happens sometimes and there's nothing we can do about it. Is a lot scarier. And like, but like that's not real control. That's just like fake, like artifice of control, which like to me has just been like the gnawing like downtrack of like this whole series is that like Nathan just like keeps creating like trappings of situations rather than actually confronting the real thing. And I'm curious to see if that's like part of where this is headed, is like him like part of the show having to be like him realizing that like he has to like really tackle issues and not just like create, you know, fake constructs around them. Because that's really what most of the show has been, and it's been highly entertaining. But it's just kind of lacked some of that luster for me as a result.
Nathan goes to therapy, episode 6.
Woof. I think probably the best example of him truly having control is when Patrick went gold digging with that grandpa, and that whole situation he set up like so flawlessly.
Yeah.
Patrick went along with it. And I think a lot of us are assuming that in hindsight, Patrick realized what was happening and that's why he didn't come back on the show. But the rest of it is very much him having to go along with you know, whatever Angela wants her dream life to be. And so it would be interesting to see a little bit of post-production of, you know, how did Angela decide what she wanted her perfect life to be? How did they go about picking the house? How much influence did Nathan have on that to get a peek behind the curtain of, you know, who's actually telling the truth and who do we perceive has more control?
It's interesting based on what you were saying before, Megan, like Nathan is literally the god in this show. And Angela never like verbalizes that, but I mean, she is a person who has a deep faith, and like Nathan is literally that here. And although she doesn't verbalize it, that might be part of what makes her uncomfortable on the show.
Yeah, I mean, he literally turns back time, right? Because he doesn't like how it went.
Now, he did ask her, though, for permission to turn back time. So did she say yes because that's what she was genuinely okay with? Is it just an easy thing to say in hindsight of, oh, no, you made this decision, when he actually went up and asked her? Could she have said no?
Right.
Well, you know, religions tell people that they have free will, which science may not agree with. So, right. So maybe Nathan just wants her to think she has free will. I
think like the question of him asking her, can I turn back time too, goes back into the like, is it really a collaborative effort, or is this just Nathan's rehearsal all along? And Angela perceived that Nathan was taking it over anyway. So I think at that point, she just went along with whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely I mean, like once you're like emotionally checked out of this, like it's a bit ridiculous to still be doing it at all. Like once that's, you know, artifice is broken, like what are we doing here?
Well, so let me, you know, my wife and I were at a bar recently, and it's this bar where like it's like a mystery, and like with each drink you order, you get another clue, and you have to find out the mystery. And at a certain point, largely contributing based on how many drinks we had, I said to Jen, I'm like, do you give a shit about this? She's like, no. I'm like, so why are we doing this? And then we just stopped. But like, we continued to enjoy the experience of the bar, and then there was like a show, and we were getting more drinks. And so like, Angela might have just wanted to continue to be there because she's in this fancy house and she's living this little pretend life. But so she, you know, but I guess eventually she tires of that as well.
She's just a vibes girl.
The mystery?
No, because we didn't care. Also, again, like we had a lot of drinks, so there was a burlesque show in the middle. It was like very cool.
Oh my god,
this bar sounds incredible.
This was in Montreal. I can tell you guys where it is. So
yeah, definitely send that over.
I can't tell you the name of it because I literally can't pronounce it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you just type it out, we'll figure it
out. My French is very bad.
They'll take it from there.
Yeah, we got this. That bar sounds incredible. So I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So if this was all set up to be Nathan's ultimate rehearsal, if that is true, I don't think it makes sense for him to have Angela as his co-parent, because I don't think that would accurately reflect his life. So I think it's probably something he stumbled into, because there's no way he dates someone like Angela in real life, and this accurately reflects his real life situation.
Yeah, I mean, then right, if that was always the plan, like why would he not have just set it up from the outset as like, we're doing my thing under like what my dream is, and like I'm going to try to bring in someone to match my, you know, interests. Yeah, I think it's probably more that this just kind of happened, and then like they kind of retrofit some of the editing in previous episodes to make it more naturally lead towards this conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm so excited to see what happens next week.
Yeah. All right. So let's quickly end things off with Olin Allen, who says he was shouting at the end of the podcast that the title Apocalypto, maybe even end of the episode, that the title Apocalypto could have been related to the Mel Gibson film, which was his follow-up to The Passion of the Christ.
No. What he's saying is at the end of
last week's podcast,
we said, "Why is this episode called Apocalypto?" Because we have never heard of that movie. And
Got
Owen,
it.
who's a movie buff, was yelling at the podcast because of the Mel Gibson movie, and he was correct.
And he was right.
Yeah.
I believe I may have been somewhat right. Still haven't watched the second of the show due to lack of availability, but I'm pretty much synced up with Jim Crumley. Anyway, all I have for this week is Mel Gibson, so I guess I will make him the fucking asshole.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast without watching this show, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I don't know how.
If you're having trouble potentially finding the episode, there's a wonderful Facebook group called Nathan For You Business Posting. I'm not saying you can find anything there, but it's a great discussion group, and maybe you'll find something there.
All right, someone can point you in the right direction.
Don't you hate to be continued on TV? I mean, the whole reason you watch a TV show is because it ends. If I wanted a long, boring story with no point to it, I have my life.
Let's briefly watch the 15-second trailer we have for next week's episode.
Oh, yes.
We don't get these in Canada.
Oh, really?
Oh,
It gives you very little information.
I haven't seen this yet. All right.
Do you feel like I'm believable?
I mean, you're a great scene partner.
Good.
What every parent wants to hear.
I mean, some things you want to be prepared for, but you know what I mean.
Oh.
You can clap. Yeah.
So, for podcast listeners, if you're in Canada and you haven't seen that, there's very little you can pick up from that. Basically, it's him going through the fourth wall, or being meta, or whatever term you want to use, like talking to the child actor as an actor, talking to the extras as actors. So it doesn't seem like Nathan's taking the scenario as seriously after accusing Angela of that,
Does that change your opinion on Angela being your asshole of the episode?
Well, I don't really know what to think of 20 seconds. But, I mean, what do you guys think? It's called Pretend Daddy.
Well, we do see a brief clip of him meeting Angela in the park, which I'm not sure if people will be excited or upset by that information that she is potentially back.
Yeah, I wasn't excited to see her just then. It could be, I guess. Yeah, I'm hoping that we've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm interested because we saw the set of the house again.
Yeah.
So, where is this taking place? Is this all a rehearsal? TBD. I will say I rewatched the original trailer last week just to check in on what had not been shown yet. And there's another 15-year-old or 18-year-old Adam who is very creepy.
All right. So we might get all the way to 18.
Yeah, or they might have just put stuff that didn't make the cut in the trailer. So,
hard to say.
Do you guys ever get disappointed when you remember a moment from a trailer and then you see the movie and it's not actually in the movie?
I have a really awful memory for trailers, so I honestly hardly ever notice.
I feel like trailers now just give away so much of the movie.
Yeah.
I at this point I avoid them, but when we're on our podcast, whenever we're theorizing things, we call it putting on our tinfoil toques.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to a movie theater, they're kind of just in your face, but otherwise I try to not watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of the Postman. I guess that's the end of our episode. Anything else for us to say here?
If you're a pretty good listener, go listen to Nathan For Us.
Yeah, and if you're a Nathan For Us listener, go listen to Pretty Good.
Right.
What are you guys doing after next week?
We're actually not fully done, Nathan For You. So we do have a little bit of the last season to finish. So we're going to dive back in. And then, of course, we have Finding Frances at the end. And then after that, we're going to watch The Curse. So we're all in on Nathan Fielder.
All right.
That's our brand.
And when is The Curse coming out?
No idea. They're just filming it now. They were filming it in June, at least, in New Mexico. So probably not till 2023, but we'll find some stuff to talk about in between.
Oh, wow. Safdie brothers and Emma Stone. Oh, this is a big thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be incredible.
Very cool. All right. Well,
before one of you joked and said episode 6 would just be Nathan in therapy. Have you guys ever seen the show Couples Therapy on Showtime?
Yes.
Yeah, which is, so it's It's a real therapist and real couples, and they agree to be recorded. And it's kind of wild, but I don't know. Maybe that's something someone should podcast about. Maybe there's a podcast about it. I have no idea.
What are you guys doing after the rehearsal?
We're not sure yet. Maybe Party Down has been discussed. We're open to ideas. We're looking for something.
Yeah, we'll definitely send you some if we think of it.
Please do.
Couples therapy app.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a good idea.
You guys should come on a Nathan For You episode.
Okay, for sure. We would love to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have a handful left. It would be really fun. Or we can cover a bunch of This Hour Has 22 Minutes clips too. There's so many random things.
We can do that too. That sounds great.
So he was just like a correspondent, like Stephen Colbert on The Daily Show, basically?
Yeah.
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Very short, random clips. They're all pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot on YouTube that you can find too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I might do a little rabbit hole of that when we sign off. I'm intrigued. Pretty Good Curb on Twitter. So at Pretty Good Curb. And that's our only social media. So hit us up there. You can subscribe on Anchor or on iTunes, all the other podcasts. If you're listening to this, then we're on whatever you're listening to it on, I think. So check us out. Yeah.
Yeah. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Nathan For Us Pod. Follow us on TikTok at Nathan For Us Podcast.
Why don't we have TikToks?
Yeah, you guys should definitely get on TikTok. It's very fun. We just got the ability to go live. So at some point we will do that. But yeah, TikTok is great.
I watch TikTok. I never contribute to TikTok.
Check us out. Kelly's great on it. I root her on and benefit from all of her hard work. So this has been Alex and Av and Kelly and Megan on your side.
Get a life, Jews.